Here comes the Clarity series brought to you by Inspiration Side and hosted by Chris. It's about to be a long ride, and I guess you are very ready to get some clarity, discover, recover, uncover, and don't forget like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell. Welcome to another episode of the Clarity series, and I'm your host, Grace Okikiayo. Today, we are going to be having an amazing person join us on another session. We are talking about something that quite has to do with things related to numbers. You can tell from the title. Yeah, we're talking about accounting from the academic aspect majorly. And I have an astute scholar in the house to speak to us about accounting. Um, it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. UbongAbasi James. You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
sir.
Thank you so
It's a
much, Ma,
pleasure
for.
to have you here. And just before we dive right into it, I'll just like to read your bio so people can know you. Yeah. So Ubang Abasi James is an accountant, a research assistant, and a writer. He holds a bachelor's degree in accounting from the University of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria, and is currently a master's student of the same discipline, arts, one of the biggest and definitely the premier university of Nigeria. Yeah. He's passionate about helping young people distinguish between purpose and career. He's also a minister of the gospel and a graduate of the Davidic Generation Church School of Ministry. That one, clock it again. Cheers to DGC. All right, so it's nice having you, sir. It's a pleasure to have you here at the Clarity series. You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much. Thank you so much again for having me. Such an honor to be on this call with you, bringing clarity to
Yeah.
young people, especially in the area of accounting. It's an area that I myself had to navigate on my own. But
Mm,
yeah, because of my journey, I would say a lot of young accountants will not have to pass through what I went through. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm also honored to be here. Thank you very, very much.
thank you. I think you just really gave us what we needed. Yes, we really don't want not a number of people to like stress and have to go through soul navigation and I mean make errors when they could easily reach out to the right person that will guide them through. So I think we are really going to start from there. Do you mind sharing what that your journey is? Let's see. Share with us, sir.
Well, okay. I've had to change career aspirations while growing up. At some point, I wanted to be a footballer, then I wanted to be an artist, then I wanted to be a banker. So I finally settled with accounting. But my mom wanted me to do law or economics, so I had to fight very hard for accounting, right? And thank God that I finally got. Um, but I didn't really have a good foundation in secondary school in accounting. So when I got into the university, it really affected me, right? I could not really cope with what was happening because I didn't have a good foundation. And I started to rethink the entire stuff. I started to rethink accounting as a whole. Right now, I can tell you that accounting is not that complicated, right? It deals a lot with foundational things. It deals a lot with understanding various concepts that guides how the figures, the numbers are to be calculated, what is to be where. But yes, back to my journey anyway. It was a lot. It was a whole lot. But I thank God for friends. Thank God for friends for teaching me. I've had to do extra classes. I've had to disturb a lot of people to teach me, to coach me, put me through all of that stuff. And if I did not persevere in the field of accounting, right, I probably, God forbid, in fact, it's already too late because I already finished with the degree, but I probably would have dropped out and done something else because there's a way accounting can affect your mental health, right? It's that deep. It's actually that deep. when you're given yeah, when you're given a bunch of figures and you are asked to calculate this, calculate that, some people just think it's just mathematics. Is it not just addition and subtraction?
Yeah.
It really is not. Yeah, it really is not addition and subtraction. There are various concepts that guide the way you recognize certain costs.
Mm,
Accounting has its own rule. That's the IASs and the IFRSs. So that guide how certain figures are to be calculated and stuff like that. And if you don't understand the laws behind accounting, which is what I didn't understand back then, you are going to struggle. Right.
yeah.
So here we are. But I think something very important that I regret not doing as an undergraduate was writing my professional exams. That's my ICANN. I don't know if it's time for us to go into that yet. If it's not time, you can stop me.
Yeah, yeah, let's
Um
continue.
okay. So one of the biggest fears I had in accounting was ICANN because of the way it was spoken about. You think that ICANN is an extremely difficult or near impossible task,
Yeah.
right? But now being a master's student, I wish I wrote ICANN as an undergraduate because life doesn't get any freer, right?
Mm,
One of my excuses for not writing the ICANN was first the way it was spoken about. It sounded like something that I need to take time,
yeah.
dedicate my years to do. Um, and then again, I didn't really want to. I was already struggling with the accounting as an undergraduate. I didn't want to add ICANN on top of that.
Sweet.
So
Yeah.
not, I ended up not doing the ICANN. But having tasted ICANN, I can say I wonder why I did not write it because it was not that deep. It honestly was not
Wow.
that deep. It just needed, yeah, of course, it needs your hard work, but it's really not that deep. It's really
Mm,
not that deep. From my experience, I don't know. Probably some other accountants would have some other experiences, but I'm telling you from my
experience.
experience, I,
Mm,
yeah, I regret not writing it on undergraduates because if I did, I would be chartered by now. I would be a chartered
yeah.
accountant by now. But we're getting anyway. So yes,
I think that's a good start because let me just pick from the last one. Yeah, most people feel ICANN is difficult. Even as a non-scientist, as a scientist, a non-accounting person, I've heard, hey, you have to do ICANN. Oh my god, you have to read, you have to do this. And I'm like, personally, maybe a little bit. I may be scared of anything that has to do with professional exam. The moment you target professional exam, I'm like, oh my god, how do you do it? So yeah, I think there's that fear people have like instilled in the hearts of people to do ICANN examinations and everything. And yeah, I think it's time we start telling people it's difficult, right? But maybe we should really say it's not that deep. It's just an exam.
not that.
It's an exam people do and they pass. So
Yeah, people
don't
pass.
promote, yeah, don't promote the negative, it's difficult. Promote the fact that people do it and they pass. No matter how complicated or something it is, there are still people that did it at a go and they got it on their first trial. And then to the
Yeah,
first thing you said, yeah, accounting is different from mathematics. So my favorite subject, my best subject in secondary school is mathematics. But you see, grace and accounts, grace and business studies, grace and economics were like this. We don't no, there's no way we can gel. And then people will be like, oh, you like I mean, I was quite smart with mathematics. But like, oh, and I'm like, no, this thing is more than numbers, it's more than finding X. There is the balancing, there is the this and that. And maybe some parents also would make the mistake of, oh, if your child is good in mathematics, accounting can just be a next phase, or probably engineering or things that has to do with calculation. But it's not it. It's not. And I really do hope that people understand this, that don't just think it's the numbers. Another thing sorry, I don't like your course for is money. So yeah, we are going to debunk some things right now. I'll tell you my stand and then you debunk it. So yeah, I don't like accounting. At the same time, I don't like anything I like money, but anything that's doing calculating money, count me out. So you would probably not find me in positions like treasurer because I don't want to hear 5 naira is missing. Come and account for it. Where did it go to? So I don't know. I don't know. And I recently heard of this game, so I'm going to tell you the. It's like a quiz, right? So it says the person needed to buy something, and the person borrowed 50, let's say 50 naira from both parents. That's 100 naira. Then bought something of 97 naira, right?
Okay.
So you have a change of 3 naira. Then because of you have 3 naira, you gave your parents 1 naira, the father 1 naira, the mother 1 naira. Then you kept 1 naira to yourself. 100 naira spent. Now you, how much are you owing your parents? 49 naira here. 49 naira here. That's 98 naira. With the 1 naira you gave yourself, like that's 98 naira. But like, if you calculate it with what you have given each person, there's one naira that is missing. Where is the 1 naira? So
Are you asking me are you asking me that question?
you're an accountant. Find out
Well,
where the
that seems more like a math question than an accounting question, to be very honest. But hmm, oh, where's the one?
Okay, so let's go back to the debunking now. Is accounting all about money, keeping money, scheduling income, outcome, trying to balance your books, balance in and out? Like, what really is accounting about beyond what we think it is?
Okay. So accounting has a lot to do with numbers generally and
Mm,
largely, but there are different areas of accounting. We have financial reporting or financial accounting.
mm,
That's what lots of people assume is accounting strictly, right? So financial reporting has to do with the large scale or the small scale accounting for money.
okay.
What I mean by that is that assume a trader goes out to get things in at a wholesale price, then comes back to sell them. So the trader needs to account for, the income that came in and then the expenses, everything like that. So financial accounting deals with that kind of calculation. But then there are
Mm,
areas in accounting like cost accounting, which deals with budgeting, right? There's
okay.
management accounting, it's very close to cost accounting. But management accounting deals with making decisions. It's more of
Mm,
decision making. And then there's taxation. Taxation is another branch of accounting. I think a lot of people would understand a little bit about taxation now that the new tax law, the Nigerian tax law, is in place. You cannot relate because you're not in Nigeria, but you know now that the new tax law is in place, you know
yeah.
um taxation. And then there's auditing.
Mm,
Personally, I love audit. Auditing doesn't really have to do with balancing. Okay, auditing does have to do with balancing figures, but auditing is like um kind of cross-checking to check if what the financial accounting did is correct.
mm,
So remember, I talked about financial accounting. So what the auditor does is to check if the calculations of the financial accountant are
right.
accurate, if there are any
Mm,
missing figures. For instance, you that parable um of the missing 1 naira. Is an auditor that will be able to help you find that missing 1 naira because he's going to break down everything. Yeah, he'll cross check everything to help you
yeah.
find out what really went on. So auditing is like, I personally, I love auditing because it feels like you are a detective, right?
Yeah.
And I personally
Mm,
prefer it to reading the numbers and everything like that. And then again, as an auditor, you get to travel around because we have companies like KPMG that
mm,
are okay. We call them the big four, right? The
mm,
big four, they deal on audit. And if you are an audit consultant there, you get to travel around and audit several companies. That's you are cross-checking their financial records and making sure it is correct. There's actually
mm,
something called an audit report. Um, it goes with okay. There's something called an audited financial report. So when the financial accountants have prepared their report, they need an auditor to come and cross check and confirm that everything done there is correct. Without
Mm.
that, investors will not be able to trust the figures in the company, because investors put their money where
Yeah.
they can trust that inflow is going to come out.
Mm.
And yeah, I think all of this auditing and stuff like this, it goes a long way to cross check financial fraud. It goes a long way to cross check, because how are you sure a company is not lying about the figures? Companies can lie on their financial records so that they can attract investors to
Mm.
get money. So that's where the
Yeah.
auditor comes in to ensure that what they're actually putting on paper is correct. So I've mentioned the financial accountant, I mentioned the tax, the cost accountant, there's the management accountant, there is the auditor, right? There's also another branch of accounting that I loved as a secondary school person. That's oil and gas. Okay, not secondary school, university. That's oil and gas account. So it deals with the oil sector. It's kind of like financial reporting, but
Well,
strictly with the oil and gas sector. I think you can guess the reason why I love it, because
money
it's a
now.
lot of money. There's a lot-
Accountant,
so
sir,
yeah,
you like money.
well, yeah. So accounting is not all about, yeah. Accounting is not all about addition and subtraction of figures. There are
Mm.
some other areas of accounting.
Okay, okay, that's so beautiful. I think I like this, the way you really expanded the fact that they are different aspects, because I would have summarized all the accounting, auditing, tax. Everybody is accounting. Not knowing that there's probably like group for each person. Now let's go back to the classroom as an undergraduate. Um, what were you thinking you were going to learn in accounting? And then when your lecturer started coming with each course, and you're like, is this one there? So I'm going to learn this. So like, what were those like lecture shocks that you had? But like probably over time, you saw the reason why those things were infused in the curriculum for accounting.
Okay, lecture shocks. Well, when our curriculum was presented as an undergrad, and the lecturer came in to teach, especially financial accounting. So he would usually start by saying that what we're about to learn now, you guys already
Mm,
learned it secondary school. So it's nothing new. So you're just going to prepare your mind that, oh, it's something I already know. And they're
mm,
truly going to teach you what you already know, but they'll be adding small
yeah,
complex things on top. So they want
mm,
to start foundation, because not everybody that um got into accounting in the university actually did accounting in secondary school. There are people that did physics, they were in science class, but they just discovered that now I think I'm going to do accounting. Maybe medicine didn't work out for them, or engineering didn't work out for them. Decided to swap, you know. So
mm,
we had to start from that foundational level. But what we did in secondary school as an accountant was not very, some things were too basic. And I was thinking to myself, are we going to be drilled again on these basic things? And I was very wrong, because as soon as they are done with the foundational parts of the accounting, they go into the more complex stuff. So for the first
mm,
time, we did taxation. Taxation, we didn't do it in secondary school. We started learning
yes.
it in university as an undergrad. So we did auditing as well. I did not know there was anything like auditing until I entered the undergrad level. I did not know there was anything like international accounting until I entered the
Mm,
undergrad level, or gas accounting as well. We learned it at undergrad level. So those were shocks, but those were positive shocks, because it helps knowing that accounting is broad. Accounting
yeah.
it's beautiful. Aside the mental stress it gives you, it's actually it's a beautiful course. And I think that it helps you beyond just calculating numbers. If you're an accountant, I don't know if this is the public perception, but this is what I'm taught. For someone to be an accountant, you have to be a person of integrity. So if you're a
Mm,
long-standing accountant, it means one of your words has to be integrity. So beyond the numbers, it's a very sensitive profession as well. And that's one of the things auditing would teach you as well.
Okay, okay. So I like where you landed because that's like where I want to take you to next. So, what are those, should I call them skills or qualities or values that every accountant should have? Skills now, soft
Ah,
skills, technical skills, then like values. I know every professional space has their own, but is there any like one that is like quite peculiar that if you want to succeed as an accountant, this one, hold it.
okay, okay. In this day and age, the skills you would need. I want to be very real with you because I've interacted with the job market, and I've seen some of the requirements that
Mm,
accountants currently need to have in order to bag certain jobs, except you want to be paid 150K and below, right? Um, every accountant needs to be data driven. You need to be very good with data. So it means as an accountant, you almost have to double as a data analyst. That means you must be very good with Microsoft Excel. Um, you must be very good with Power BI, all these data
mm,
apps, Postgres SQL.
SQL.
Um, but some companies use softwares like QuickBooks. They use XRP. They use
Mm,
certain of those other softwares like that, and you have to be very good with that. I recently interacted with the HR for Flutterwave. His name is Emmanuel Samuel, and he was telling me the advantage of being a data-driven accountant. Most
mm,
accountants are not data-driven. So if you want to thrive, especially in a fintech company like that, you have to incorporate your accounting with technology because in this day and age, you would really find an accountant that is preparing an account with book and
book.
pen,
Yes.
right? It's
Yes.
not very relatable, and that's why
Mm,
me I have some reservations about the academia, the way some things are being, because some people are still being taught to solve accounts with book and pen for
yes.
4 years. And at the end of the 4 years, you come out and you discover that technology has
Technical.
taken over the world. So you should have actually learned one or two things about QuickBooks. You should have actually learned one or two things about XRP software. So I think that, yeah, I think that a lot of undergraduates, I think that a lot of undergraduates come out from the university not being armed with the requisite skills to bag jobs
Mm,
because they are still in the traditional phase of accounting as accounting has evolved to involve technology.
yeah.
And as long as you see, yeah, you see jobs and they'll say you must be able to use Excel, you must be able to use XRP, you must be able to use this. And so the accounting graduate is shocked. With your first class, you'll be shocked that you still need this.
Mm,
So so
mm,
yeah, I think as an accountant, you must incorporate technology into what you
mm.
are doing. You must
And
be able to
skills.
use those data-driven softwares, yeah, to budget, to do data analysis, to be able to prepare receivables accounts, things like Google Sheets as well. You can do your
Yeah.
analysis there, your budgeting there, and yes, now to the values that accountants must
Yeah.
possess. I think the basic value that an accountant has to possess is perseverance. I think an
Wow.
accountant has to be very perseverant because you go through a
Wow.
lot mentally. Yeah, so you need to you
Oh
need to
Lord.
be very perseverant in order to go through that a lot and
A
still
lot.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are times you would prepare an account and it is not balance. You will have to,
Mm,
yeah, you'll be very perseverant in order to look through those figures one at a time to see what is actually missing. For instance, like still going back to that parable you threw earlier, if you want to sit back and analyze whether 1 naira went to, we may need to be perseverant. So you need to be perseverant, you need to be patient, you need to be very detailed oriented, very
mm,
detailed oriented. You cannot be, I think it goes hand in hand with being patient because you cannot be careless about figures.
yeah.
People have gotten into trouble because they omit 1 0 or they added 10 where they should not have added it.
Mm-hmm.
So little things like that. And then you have to be a person of integrity. You have to be a person of transparency. It means you can be trusted with
Mm-hmm.
money, right? You can be trusted with money. Um, yeah, so integrity, honesty, honesty as well. You have to be very loyal to your employees, very loyal to your
Yeah,
employees,
sure,
um,
sure.
amongst others actually. But I think those are the
Yeah,
core values that
core
you must
values.
possess.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for that. I think I really learned a lot, particularly about tech. I was actually going to ask you about the impact of like tech in accounting because, of course, being in the globalization phase of the world, almost every aspect of the world now is being hit by tech and by advancement and development. So yeah, thank you for really mentioning that. So I was going to ask, aside from ICANN, what other exams or certifications can be explored, particularly say from the undergraduate level? Like I know now, I think we have quite established that people shouldn't really wait till they are done before they do ICANN. But I think there are some other ones.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe 8 years or I can't remember, but I know I've heard of someone mention one like that.
Okay. Um, ATS is actually affiliated to ICANN. So
Mm,
here's how it works. If you did not finish with an accounting degree and you want to write ICANN, you may have to start from ATS. It's just like the foundation of ICANN. So, like me now, I finished with an accounting degree. I didn't have to write ATS. I just went straight to ICANN. So,
ICANN. Oh,
with ICANN. But for some other ones you have to write. There's also ANAN. There's
mm,
ANAN. But ANAN and ICANN are kind of comparable. It's just that the industry prefers ICANN to ANAN from
okay.
what I've seen so far. So ICANN is a body that makes you a chartered. ANAN as well makes you a chartered accountant, but I think everybody prefers majority. Let me use majority. Majority would prefer ICANN to ANAN. The rest of the certifications I know, because I wrote this one as an undergraduate, is not directly linked to accounting, but it's business related.
Mm,
That's NIM. So it makes you a chartered manager.
yeah.
But a lot of the other certifications aside ICANN would really require the ICANN certificate. For instance, the CITN, it makes you a chartered tax personnel.
Okay.
So
Mm,
there's the CITN, but you need your ICANN certificate for that one. There's the
mm,
CFA, you'd also need your ICANN certificate for that one. There's the ACCA. You can write ACCA as an undergrad, but ACCA is actually internationally recognized. It's not
mm,
like ICANN. ICANN is a bit restricted to Nigeria. So
mm,
ACCA is more like you are a globally chartered accountant. You are global. So globally, everybody recognizes you as a chartered accountant. Um,
mm,
if you have the funds for it, you can go for it. ACCA is actually quite costlier than ICANN.
yeah. Sure.
Yeah, you
Sure.
can you can go for it.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. So let's see. What are the places? Okay, let's talk reality now. In what spaces have you seen an accountant working and you're like, why are you working here? Like someone that studied accounting. Now, not to say, I mean, employment opportunities are probably limited and things like that. Just something, just on a lighter note, like I found this person with an accounting degree and you're working here. Like, how? Why? And then a follow up would be what are the areas where an accountant can work? Like what positions can an accountant hold? And like it's should I say it's legit, is like the rightful position because of the kind of background the person has.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. I personally have not had an encounter with someone who studied accounting and is probably riding a bike, is driving Okada, or a taxi or something like that. Okay, yeah, I recently had one. The guy was driving an Uber, but I think that's even more. It's not as bad as driving an Okada. Maybe the guy is
Did you
passionate
ask
about
him?
it.
Did you ask him
I don't
why?
really know. Not really. It felt a bit personal because he was telling us that he studied accounting too. We wanted him to drop us off at the hall where we were going to write our ICANN.
Okay.
So he was like he studied accounting too. So from there we got talking. Maybe maybe he just had his BSc, just his BSc degree, because if you check
Okay.
a lot of the job offers, you would see that for you to get a reasonable pay as an accountant, you need to be a chartered accountant, or else they'll just give you 120K or 150K after all your stress and everything like that. So
Mm,
maybe that's what the guy was earning and he wanted to do Uber. And maybe the
yeah.
Uber pays him more
More.
the accounting. But
Yeah.
I don't think as an accountant I don't think as an accountant you'll be struggling for a job because virtually every corporation needs an accountant. Every
Mm,
corporation needs to account for their accounts. So every
yeah.
corporation does need an accountant. So as long as you are an accountant, you are very, very employable. You are a hot cake actually. So we need to clock this course.
Yeah.
Um So of course, there's the academia of accounting, and then
Mm,
the industry based work. Of course, you can work as a lecturer in accounting if you're passionate about
mm,
lecturing people. But a lot of people run to the industry because that's where more money
the
is.
money.
You can you can, yeah, so you can be a financial accountant, you can be a
Mm,
tax consultant, you can be an auditor,
mm,
you can be a cost accountant, you can be a financial manager, you
mm,
can be an account officer, you can be you can be you can be there's something we call there are senior accountants and stuff like that. But an accountant can also work at the bank. Accountants can work in school, they can work in organizations, virtually anyway. You can be an oil and gas accountant, work offshore, whatever it is. But
mm,
basically anywhere you can find a job as an accountant. I have a link to a particular WhatsApp platform where they post jobs like that, and they are posting it virtually every day. Startup
wow.
companies, even in tech companies, fintech
Mm,
companies, they need an accountant. Even if they are not fintech companies, they need an accountant, especially if they are serious. And especially with the enactment of the new tax law, right? People are
so,
gonna have to file taxes. Need an accountant for that. So you don't even
mm,
have to be physically there. Like they'll need to consult you, especially if you are good at what you do, right?
yeah.
Because if they don't pay the tax, then government will come after their jugular. So they need you to stuff. So as an
Yeah.
accountant, you can work virtually. It's one of the courses you do that you are not restricted, right? You are
Mm,
not restricted to a particular kind of industry. So whether it's the fashion industry, it's the pharmaceutical industry, it's you name it, whatever kind of industry it is. As an accountant, you can work
you
there as
can.
long as money is coming into that company and going out of that company. They need you as an accountant. So yeah.
Okay, okay. So that's nice. Now a personal question. What is your own area of specialization? I mean, now you are doing your master's, so what's yours and why?
Well, my area of accounting, I'm still figuring it out. I won't lie to you. As a young man, you want to you want to gather as much funds as you can so as you can build your life. And
Mm,
I was telling a friend much earlier that I wish there was a lot of money in the academia, right? I
yeah.
like to be honest. To be honest, I wish there was a lot of money in the academia. I would have comfortably chosen the academia.
academia.
because I like to, yeah, I like to talk to people. I feel more fulfilled talking to students and imparting students with information like this, because a lot of people that lecture students don't actually give them this information. For instance, to take part now, a lot of
Yeah,
accountants, under accountants, don't know it. So they are just focusing on getting their paper, that's their degree, and they are not really skilled to work normally in the
yeah,
industry. So yeah, I would feel more fulfilled in the academia than in the industry, because the industry, but however, if I were to work in the industry, I would definitely be an auditor, because it
oh,
involves traveling around, and I love to travel, right? So it involves you traveling around to audit, financial statements
mm,
and the rest of. I personally have experience doing that. I would say it's fun,
oh,
because when you show up as an auditor, you get a lot of, you know a lot of good treatment. They treat you very well. They honor you, because
oh,
they know.
you're out there for the
Yeah, they
sugar
treat.
of the job. Hmm. Caught you
And
right
I
there.
think there's a lot of. I think as well there's a lot of money in that area, right? I
Yeah.
think that the purpose of a job is to give
Mm,
you money.
yeah.
Yeah, the purpose of a job is to give you money. It's a different thing if you can find purpose in your job, but if you cannot
Mm,
find purpose in your job, then go for where there's money. All right.
yeah. Go for
But
it.
right
There's
now, the Lord is still working on my heart, so I cannot really run to where there's money like that. I'm still trying to figure it out.
yeah.
But I'm tilting, because I'm currently a research assistant. I'm tilting more towards the academia. But let's see what happens in a few years.
Hmm. But with how you said auditing allows you to travel about, and I think that means a little bit of flexibility. Maybe you
Yes,
can
yeah,
still combine auditing and academia. Two streams of
of
incomes.
course.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's not bad. Okay, so
Not bad.
at all, it's not bad. So I think this would be the last thing I might ask, and that would be, the word came like accounting started from like paper and pen,
Yes.
balancing. Now we are like softwares, applications. Do you kind of have you ever envisaged a future like with the way we are going in the next 10 years? Is it robots or virtual reality or something that so we can prepare ahead if there's a future that you like the way this thing is progressing in the next 5-10 years, the table will turn again. Is there any possibility like
Well, I've personally done an AI course. I'm a certified AI technician, just in case. One of the reasons I did the AI course was that I was fascinated by AI, number one. And number two, what I learned from the AI course was that there are some certain jobs that AI cannot take away.
that? Yes.
Me, I'm hoping AI is fast evolving. I'm just hoping that being an accountant is not, accounting is not one of those jobs. But one of the
Mm,
securities that was given to us accountants in the AI phase was that um, the only accountants or the only professionals that will lose their jobs are professionals that ignore AI, because very soon
mm,
AI is going to be in every sphere, it's going to be in every occupation. It's just that there are some very critical assignments that need human beings to be there to supervise. What I actually learned from the book is that although you can program, excuse me, you can program AI to be able to calculate numbers and run some financial analysis like that. But for financial consultancy, you still need an accountant, because an accountant, yeah, for you to really, for financial consulting, you still need an accountant. For financial advice, you still need an accountant, because
mm,
AI works with information. So as long as the AI system is not updated, as long as the account and the AI is not updated with the current information, it can give
mm,
you, it can judge rightly for you.
wrong.
But you
Yeah.
are an accountant, you are seeing the news every day, you are seeing the changes,
Mm.
in the trends, in the economy, inflation rates, interest rates, and everything that are constantly
Mhm.
changing. So you have better knowledge than the AI because
Yeah.
AI is not all knowing. All the information AI has was programmed into AI.
Mm.
So uh, um, I don't think. Okay, what I think should actually be done, what I think, what I prescribe should be done, so that we don't produce um, accountants who cannot help their world. I
Okay.
think that AI should be incorporated in. I think AI should be incorporated into the undergrad.
Mm.
Personally, I foresee the academia having, especially the premier universities, a lot of their lectures, in fact, if not all their lectures, are going to be remote. You know,
Mm.
remote. You can. I don't think people will need to come to school again in the
So,
next few years. I don't think people will need to physically
yeah.
assemble anyway. Anyways, you can take your program from your
Wherever.
home, and I every accountant needs to have tech skills that are
Mm.
data driven. If you are doing accounting and you're an undergraduate, please learn Microsoft Excel. That's even the most basic one. Learn XRP, learn QuickBooks, learn Zero. You know,
Mm.
familiarize yourself with accounting softwares. As they are
Yeah.
coming out, familiarize yourself with accounting softwares. Familiarize yourself with AI because AI is
Yeah.
another different thing. AI can really help you. I don't think that anybody is going to be in the next few years. I don't think anybody is going to be writing in the academia now. I don't think anybody is
Yeah.
going to be writing exams with pen and biro. I think everybody is going to be writing exams on the computer, inputting your
Sure.
answers, doing stuff like that, soft life.
Yeah.
And I think the possibilities are so immense. The
Mm.
possibilities are so immense. Sadly, right? I think sadly some accounting professionals may be eased of some of their assignments, and this may actually reduce their worth
Mm.
and their value because AI will be able to do a few things that,
Yes.
for instance, I think if you can program I think AI may be able to audit an account. I just think if you
Yeah.
present the financial statements to the AI and all the information that the AI needs, I think AI can be able to identify some loopholes in the account and
Mm.
audit that account for you. I think so. I don't know if it's been
Mm.
done yet, but um, your best bet as an accountant, if you want to be relevant, is incorporate AI into your game. Be a tech savvy
Yeah.
accountant. Don't just have a sheet of paper as a
Yes.
be good at what you do. Be a tech accountant. Be an AI
Yeah.
accountant. Leverage
Yeah.
on AI. It's that important because the world is changing.
Yes.
The world is changing. It's happening very fast. It's happening very fast. So yeah, just be good at what you do. Leverage on AI. We have a world today where people can go on ChatGPT. They don't really need a doctor like that. They can go on ChatGPT and say, I have this symptom. What
Yes.
drug do I have to take? And they can prescribe something for them. Or I'm not advising anybody to do that too, because I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a bit dangerous. But
It is.
all I'm saying is that every accountant needs to be tech savvy and
Mm.
knowledgeable in the area of AI. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I think it's been an awesome time learning and unpacking accounting with you. So thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you for sharing your personal journey and yeah, your growth. We really appreciate it. We wish you all the best in probably being a doctor of accounting or a professor of accounting or a senior auditing consultant, international consultant. So we
Clock
wish you all
that,
the
clock that.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
thank you so much
Thank
for having me. It was such an honor to do this with you. Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you, sir. All right, so thank you everyone for joining, and we're going to meet on our next episode again. Remember to share this with people and use the knowledge as much as you can. Till we meet in the next episode. Be good.